Welcome back to our channel. Today, in quiet reverence, we remember the talented artists who left us too soon, some only just days ago. From the icons of Hollywood to rising stars, they each brought light to the world of entertainment, until they passed away suddenly. If you feel moved by their stories, we invite you to leave a like as a silent tribute in their memory. Thank you. Now, let us begin. Gene Hackman, the legendary Hollywood actor best known for his unforgettable roles in The French Connection and Bonnie and Clyde, has tragically passed away at the age of 95. He died on February 18, 2025, at his home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, after battling heart disease and Alzheimer's. His passing comes just a week after the death of his beloved wife, Betsy Arakawa Hackman. The world has lost a towering figure whose presence on screen will forever be remembered. Born in 1930 in California, Gene Hackman began his career in the 1950s and quickly rose to fame with his iconic portrayal of tough, gritty characters. His breakthrough came with Bonnie and Clyde, 1967, where he earned an Academy Award nomination and solidified his status as a leading man. However, it was his role as Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, 1971, that earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, one of 2 Oscars he would win in his career. Hackman also received 2 BAFTA awards and a Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award in 2003. With over 100 film credits, his career spanned more than 40 years, making him one of the most respected and versatile actors in Hollywood. Despite his immense success, Hackman faced profound personal challenges. In 2004, he retired from acting, partly due to his diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. Yet his quiet strength during these years was remarkable. He embraced a quieter life, focusing on writing and painting, finding fulfillment in creative outlets away from the spotlight. His legacy as a masterful actor and a man of great dignity is evident in both his work and the way he navigated his final years. Gene Hackman's legacy extends beyond his film career. As his family shared, he was a devoted father and grandfather, a true patriarch. We will miss him deeply, but his spirit will always be with us. His life is a profound reminder of how to rebuild with dignity in the face of adversity. If you were touched by his unforgettable roles or admired his resilience, please share your thoughts below. Let's continue to honor his remarkable legacy together. Julian McMahon, the beloved Australian actor best known for his iconic roles as Dr. Doom in Fantastic Four and Christian Troy in Nip Tuck, has tragically passed away at the age of 56. He died on July 2, 2025, in Clearwater, Florida, after a courageous battle with cancer. Born in 1967 in Sydney, Julian McMahon began his career in Australian soap operas before rising to fame in Hollywood. His breakthrough role came as Cole Turner in Charmed, followed by his unforgettable portrayal of Christian Troy in Nip Tuck, for which he earned a Golden Globe nomination. McMahon became globally recognized for his role as Dr. Doom in Fantastic Four and its sequel, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, leaving a lasting mark in the superhero genre. Even as he battled cancer in his final years, McMahon's quiet strength and resilience were evident as he continued to work, starring in FBI, Most Wanted, and other projects. His dedication to his craft and passion for life were truly inspiring. As his wife, Kelly McMahon, shared, Julian loved life. He loved his family, his fans, and his work. Julian McMahon's legacy of powerful performances and unwavering determination will continue to inspire all who knew him. Please share your thoughts and memories of Julian as we honor his remarkable contributions. Joe Marinelli, the beloved character actor best known for his iconic roles in Santa Barbara, General Hospital, and The Morning Show, has tragically passed away at the age of 68. He died on June 22, 2025, in Burbank, California, after a courageous battle with throat and stomach cancer. His passing leaves a profound void in the entertainment world, as his warmth, talent, and unwavering spirit will be deeply missed. Born in Meriden, Connecticut, in 1957, Joe Marinelli's career spanned decades, beginning with small television roles before rising to prominence in soap operas. He gained national recognition for his role as Bunny Tagliati in Santa Barbara, and later appeared in General Hospital and Guiding Light. His versatility and depth as an actor made him a cherished presence on screen. Despite facing personal challenges, including being diagnosed with cancer, Marinelli's quiet strength was evident. He continued to work, bringing his craft and insight into his later roles, including his memorable appearance in The Morning Show. His ability to remain dedicated to his art, even as he battled illness, is a testament to his resilience and grace in hardship. Marinelli's legacy is not only in his extensive body of work, but also in the positive impact he had on those around him. His close friend, Lee J. McCloskey, wrote, "A sweeter man or a dearer friend you could not find than Joe Marinelli. Joe Marinelli's life and work will continue to inspire all who knew him." Harris Yulin, the legendary actor known for his unforgettable roles in Scarface, Training Day, and Ozark, has tragically passed away at the age of 87. He died from cardiac arrest on June 10, 2025, in New York City. His passing marks a profound loss in the entertainment world, as his artistry and dedication will be deeply missed by fans and colleagues alike. Born in Los Angeles in 1937, Yulin's career spanned over 5 decades. He made his mark with powerful performances in films like Scarface, Clear and Present Danger, and Training Day, as well as on television in shows like Frasier and Ozark. His work on Broadway in productions such as The Diary of Anne Frank and The Price earned him widespread acclaim and multiple nominations, including Drama Desk Award nominations. Though his career was not always in the spotlight, Yulin's quiet strength and commitment to his craft were evident throughout. Even in his later years, he remained an active force in the industry, preparing for a new role in American Classic alongside Kevin Kline and Laura Linney at the time of his death. Harris Yulin's legacy of artistry and grace is one that will continue to inspire. As his colleague Michael Hoffman shared, Harris Yulin was very simply one of the greatest artists I have ever encountered. His dedication to the craft, humility, and unforgettable presence will forever remain a part of the fabric of American theater and cinema.
It's the exact one! I went to the rental place the day you returned it and bought it.
Valerie Mahaffey, the beloved Emmy-winning actress best known for her roles in Northern Exposure and Big Sky, has tragically passed away at the age of 71. She died on May 30, 2025, following a courageous battle with cancer. Her passing marks a profound loss in the entertainment world, as her unforgettable presence and emotional depth will be deeply missed. Born in Indonesia to a Canadian mother and Texan father, Valerie Mahaffey's early life was marked by a rich blend of cultural influences. She began her career on Broadway in the late 1970s and quickly transitioned to television. Mahaffey became widely known for her role as Eve in Northern Exposure, 1991 to 1994, earning an Emmy Award in 1992 for her portrayal of the hypochondriac. Her career continued to shine with standout performances in Desperate Housewives, Young Sheldon, and Dead to Me. Even in the face of a cancer diagnosis, Mahaffey's quiet strength and commitment to her craft never wavered. She continued to work, with notable recent roles in Echo 3 and the 2025 film The Eighth Day, demonstrating her resilience and love for her art. Her legacy is one of grace in hardship, marked by a career filled with both humor and heart. As her husband, Joseph Kell, poignantly said, "I have lost the love of my life, and America has lost one of its most endearing actresses. She will be missed." Her contributions to television, film, and theater will continue to inspire and touch the hearts of all who knew her work. Richard Gere, Hollywood's golden boy, a name that echoed in every theater, every living room, and every magazine stand. He was more than just an actor. He was a symbol of success, a living legend whose rise to fame captivated audiences around the globe. Yet, behind the dazzling lights of stardom was a quiet journey, one that started far from the glamour of Hollywood, in the small, unassuming suburbs of Syracuse, New York. Born on August 31, 1949, in Philadelphia, Richard Tiffany Gere entered the world in the most humble of circumstances. He wasn't born into luxury, and his name wasn't whispered in grand circles. Instead, Richard's story began in the silence of hard work and sacrifice. His father, Homer, worked as a door-to-door insurance salesman, but his true calling was repairing roofs late into the night for his neighbors. Richard inherited that same relentless work ethic, a quiet strength that would become a defining characteristic of his life. His mother, Doris, juggled the challenges of raising 5 children, all while keeping the family afloat in the face of financial struggles. Yet, despite the hardships, she always managed to create a home filled with love, care, and emotional nourishment. It was in this environment that Richard learned the true value of hard work and community. His childhood home wasn't filled with wealth or fame, but it was filled with something far more important: love, resilience, and an understanding that success doesn't come easily. This foundation would shape the man he would become. Even as a child, Richard's love for the arts began to take root. At the age of 10, he picked up a trumpet and began teaching himself to play, igniting a passion for music that would stay with him for the rest of his life. But his curiosity didn't stop there. Richard was drawn to every form of artistic expression: music, ballet, and performance. He would often stand on his family's coffee table, mimicking ballet moves from PBS broadcasts, fascinated by the discipline and beauty of movement. These early experiences were more than just childhood hobbies. They were the beginning of a journey into the world of performance. At North Syracuse Central High, Richard's talents blossomed. He became the captain of the gymnastics team, a talented composer and an artist with a keen eye for design. His graduation march was a testament to his musical talent, and he even designed sets for school plays, further honing his creativity. But it wasn't until he won a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst that Richard truly set his sights on a future in entertainment. While his academic focus was philosophy, his heart and soul were drawn to the stage. The 1960s were a time of great political upheaval, and Richard was no stranger to the passionate ideals of the era. At Amherst, he found himself swept up in the tides of social change, participating in sit-ins, writing protest songs, and using his voice to advocate for justice. His drive wasn't simply to become a star. It was to make a difference. His desire to perform wasn't rooted in vanity. It was rooted in the belief that art, in all its forms, could inspire change, challenge the status quo, and give voice to the voiceless. Richard's passion for the arts and his growing awareness of the world around him set him on a path that would eventually lead to the world of theater. But little did he know, his journey was just beginning, and the world was about to discover the man who would one day change Hollywood forever. Richard Gere's life, which had once seemed like a steady climb to the top, was about to take a dramatic turn. The world that had once celebrated him as a Hollywood heartthrob, a shining beacon of success, was now about to reveal its darker side. Fame, it seemed, came at a cost far greater than Richard had ever imagined. As his career soared, the pressures of public life began to weigh heavily on him, and the very things that had once given him joy, his acting, his relationships, his sense of purpose, began to unravel. In 1980, Richard's life changed forever with the release of American Gigolo. The film, with its minimalist dialogue and sleek, seductive allure, thrust him into the global spotlight. Richard became not just a star, but an international sex symbol. The role catapulted him into a level of fame that most could only dream of. At the age of 30, Richard had everything: fame, fortune, admiration, but there was a gnawing emptiness he couldn't shake. While the applause grew louder, so did the inner conflict. Behind the bright lights and glamorous red carpets, Richard was struggling with a deep sense of loneliness and disillusionment. The success that had once filled him with pride now seemed hollow. The personal relationships he cherished began to falter under the weight of his fame. In 1991, the pressures of his public life reached their breaking point with the announcement of his marriage to supermodel Cindy Crawford, ending in divorce. The split wasn't just a personal failure, it was splashed across tabloids, dissected and magnified for public consumption. The pain was far deeper than the dissolution of his marriage. It was the death of an ideal, the fairy tale that so many had projected onto his life. The media, always hungry for drama, had painted Richard as the villain, the broken man, and the scandal became the defining narrative of his life for years. The very persona he had so carefully crafted, of a perfect leading man, was now tarnished by the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. Richard found himself at a crossroads, standing in the ashes of his personal life, unsure of who he truly was anymore. But it was in the aftermath of this public storm that Richard faced his true crisis, a battle not with the paparazzi or the media, but with himself. He had been living for the applause, for the validation of others, but had lost touch with his own sense of self. The emptiness he felt was not just the result of a failed marriage or fading fame. It was a profound realization that he had been living a life defined by external approval, not internal peace. As Richard retreated from the spotlight, a sense of isolation took hold. The public adoration, which once fed his ego, now felt like an insurmountable weight. It was during this period of withdrawal that he began to reflect on what truly mattered in life. And it was here, in the quietest moments, that Richard found the space to heal. This period of personal crisis marked the beginning of Richard's journey towards spiritual awakening. Rather than let the wreckage of his past consume him, he chose to confront it head-on. He turned inward, seeking answers not in the chaos of Hollywood, but in the stillness of the mind and spirit. He explored Eastern philosophies, began practicing meditation, and sought peace through spiritual retreats, one of the most transformative being in the serene Himalayas, far removed from the clamor of the world. Through these retreats, Richard slowly began to rebuild his sense of self. His journey wasn't just about finding a new way of living, it was about discovering who he truly was beneath the surface. Fame had once defined him, but now it was service, humility, and inner peace that became the new cornerstones of his life. By embracing this deeper connection to himself, Richard began to rediscover his passion for life, not through the lens of fame, but through the lens of purpose. It was here, in the quiet of introspection, that he found the strength to move forward, to rebuild not only his career, but also his sense of identity. Richard Gere's story, as it unfolded, was far from the typical Hollywood narrative of fame, fortune, and excess. After the collapse of his marriage, the painful scrutiny of the media, and the loss of his sense of self, Richard chose a path less traveled. He embraced the quiet journey of self-discovery and healing, a journey that would ultimately lead him back to the spotlight, but this time on his terms. As he retreated from the dazzling world of Hollywood, Richard found peace in the simplest of pleasures. Gone were the red carpets, the flashing cameras, and the constant attention of the public eye. Instead, he sought tranquility in a small farmhouse in Pound Ridge, New York, a place far removed from the clamor of his former life. Here, surrounded by the serenity of nature, Richard began to rebuild. He found solace in the company of his two young sons, Alexander and James, and cherished the role of fatherhood, which had become one of his greatest joys. The lessons he had learned from his parents, the importance of humility, service, and community, took root in his new life. Richard's home became a sanctuary, a place where he could reflect, heal, and grow. Through his daily rituals of meditation, yoga, and mindfulness, Richard found not just physical healing, but emotional and spiritual renewal. He dedicated himself to a plant-based diet, physical fitness, and holistic health practices, all of which helped him regain the vitality he had once lost. Yet, the true transformation didn't lie in his personal health alone. Richard began to embrace the role of a mentor, offering wisdom and guidance to the younger generation. He spoke openly about the importance of mental health, self-care, and finding peace within. His voice became a beacon for those struggling with the same pressures he had once faced, showing them that redemption was possible, no matter how far you had fallen. But Richard's transformation wasn't just about personal growth, it was about giving back. He became deeply involved in humanitarian efforts, using his fame not for self-aggrandizement, but for social good. His work with Tibet House, an organization dedicated to preserving Tibetan culture and advocating for human rights, became a cornerstone of his life. Through this, Richard not only found a new sense of purpose, but also a new sense of legacy. No longer defined by the roles he played on screen, Richard found his true calling in the service of others. His dedication to environmental sustainability and refugee rights further cemented his role as an advocate for change. Richard's voice was now one that spoke for those who had no platform, one that fought for causes greater than fame or fortune. His journey from a Hollywood heartthrob to a man of wisdom, compassion, and action had come full circle. As his career continued to evolve, Richard returned to the screen in roles that reflected his inner transformation. In films like Primal Fear, 1996, and Chicago, 2002, he took on characters that explored deeper, more complex emotional terrains, marking his shift from the sex symbol of his youth to a seasoned actor of depth and substance. These roles weren't just performances, they were extensions of his personal journey, allowing him to express the growth and resilience he had experienced over the years. Despite the accolades and the continued success, Richard remained grounded. In 2016, the loss of his mother, Doris, followed closely by the passing of his father, Homer, in 2023, was another profound moment in his life. These losses, though heartbreaking, led him to a deeper understanding of life's fragility and the importance of leaving behind a meaningful legacy. Richard realized that his true wealth wasn't measured in fame or wealth, but in the love he had given and received, and the impact he had made on the world around him. Today, Richard Gere continues to live by the principles of kindness, humility, and service. His life is a testament to the power of redemption and the possibility of reinvention. Though he may no longer grace the red carpet at the same frequency, his influence is felt through his advocacy, his family, and his dedication to the causes he holds dear. Richard's story is not one of a man defined by his mistakes, but one of a man who, through adversity, has built a legacy that will live on far longer than the applause of Hollywood. As the sun sets on Richard Gere's illustrious career, the true measure of his legacy is clear. It lies not in the roles he played, nor the awards he received, but in the lives he has touched and the change he has created. Richard's journey is proof that no matter where we start or where we fall, there is always a chance for redemption, and it is never too late to leave an indelible mark on the world.